fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. The new look Pac-12 is going to have a new leader going forward. After 33 tumultuous months, George Kliavkoff is out. Kliavkoff and the Pac-12 mutually agreed to part ways, and you could see the writing on the wall on this one for several months and for various reasons. Now, Oregon State and Washington State have controlling interest in the Pac-12 going forward, with the other 10 members set to depart this summer. Oregon State and Washington State have banded together, and they're looking to rebuild the Pac-12, which will more than likely result with a merger with the Mountain West Conference. Now, Kliavkoff, when he replaced Larry Scott, he inherited a mess, and I'm not going to let Kliavkoff on off the hook on this one because the mess only got worse on his watch. And I mean, before he even got there, the failed Pac-12 network under Larry Scott. And you just think about how much money that the conference lost on that endeavor. Bad spending under Larry Scott. And then biggest thing that really hurt the Pac-12, their inability and their failure to get ahead of conference realignment and expansion. And of course, the Pac-12 is and will rue the day that they did not do that. And of course, when Texas and Oklahoma decided to leave the Big 12 for the SEC, it laid the groundwork for UCLA and USC to leave the Pac-12 for the Big Ten. And of course, um, the Pac-12 was looking to get a new television deal. Once USC and UCLA gave their notices, that made it even worse because now you no longer had the Los Angeles market in your back pocket. And then, you think about it last year, and the failed media deal for the Pac-12 was a disaster. They were the last power conference that was looking to get the deal. Of course, the numbers had come out as far as all the other power conferences, as far as what they were getting. These school presidents saw that. And, then of course, nobody was sold on a streaming deal, especially an incentive laden streaming deal. And I know like streaming looks like it's going to be the way of the future, but nonetheless, no school president wanted to agree to something where, you know what, the base of it is $20 million and possibly 30 or 35, whatever. Nonetheless, it was something that, it was unofficially, you know what I'm saying? And for me, you just think about all of these things, as well as, the failing, dissolving conference, which led to Oregon State and Washington State taking it into court. And, it was just a train wreck and it's been a disaster. And of course, Oregon State and Washington State, of course, they said not so fast. We want to stay in this league. And they're looking to rebuild it and they deserve a fresh start, in my opinion. And if you're going to have a fresh start and you're going to start over from scratch and start trying to fix this thing and patch it up, you need a new voice ahead of things, and Kliavkoff had to go. There's nobody there's nobody that's gonna disagree with that, and even Kliavkoff probably says, "You know what? It's best for me to leave as well." So, it looks like Pac-12 Deputy Commissioner Teresa Gold is going to be the front runner, to replace Kliavkoff, and it's going to be interesting what she will be able to do. Now, again, like I said, more than likely the Pac-2 is going to inherit the Mountain West, and of course, the NCAA has given them 2 years to do that. And of course, credit to Washington State and Oregon State for trying to get ahead of this thing as much as they possibly can. They're going to be playing several football games every year uh, against the Mountain West. They're not going to be part of the conference officially. Uh, and then, basically they're going to be independent for the most part. And then, other sports are going to be playing in the West Coast Conference. Like I said before, and I'm going to say it again, they're more than likely uh, going to merge with the Mountain West. And honestly, like I've said before, it makes so much sense for everybody involved. Now, of course, if you're Oregon State and Washington State, you're looking to maintain your Power Five status, in the eyes of football, and more than likely that's not going to happen. Slim possibility, yes, but I'm not going to hold my breath on it. Um, it's one of those, though. Like I said, this can work if all the schools are truly committed to each other, and that's something we really don't see that much anymore in collegiate athletics from a conference standpoint. So you're not going to get Big Ten money if you're the new Pac-12. You're not going to get SEC money either. You're probably not going to get Big 12 and ACC money either. But what you want to try to do is you want to try to be at the top of the non-power conferences, if that makes some sense right there, as far as money. And I think it's going to be a work in progress, but you got to have that commitment. And I think, and I'm gonna continue to harp on this. It's a scenario where what, all of the top kids for football and basketball, they're not going to want to travel across the country just to play conference games. So if you're the Mountain West and you can focus on that region, you're going to be able to get some of those kids. But then it's got to be a commitment from everybody involved, schools and administrators, as well. And then, of course, it's one of those where what if the new Pac-12, really exceeds expectations? Are these bigger conferences going to go out there and try to back them as well? Because, like I said before, it's only a matter of time before we get a 20-team football league. It's going to be very interesting to see. I think the Mountain West merging with the Pac-12 will give everybody involved some stability. However, I do feel that the next domino in this college football realignment is going to fall very soon because it's going to come down to Florida State's legal battle, their current legal battle with the ACC to try to get out of their grants of rights. And if Florida State is able to get out of there, clearly the only two options for them would be the SEC or the Big Ten. If you're the SEC, you cannot afford to have the Big Ten just come in and open up shop in your backyard. So you're going to have to take Florida State on. And like I said before, Florida State is not leaving the ACC alone. More than likely, I would expect North Carolina, Clemson, maybe another school, maybe in Miami, just throwing it out there to try to leave. And if that's the case, hypothetically speaking, that would put the SEC at 20. Now, of course, the ACC going into next year is going to be at 17, being the Cal, Stanford, and SMU are joining. Now, with that said, what would the ACC counter with as well? So it's always going to be a domino effect. But nonetheless, for the Pac-12 getting back to the Kliavkoff, this move had to get done. And in this day and age of collegiate athletics, at the state that it is right now, if you are a conference commissioner and you do not have the ability to talk turkey with network executives, then you really don't have a leg to stand on. And of course, in the case of the Pac-12, once they couldn't get something done with ESPN, that kind of set the wheels in motion. There conspiracy theorists that I'm not going to touch that one, but nonetheless, you not being able to secure those network deals really, is going to hinder your performance going forward. So it's going to be interesting to see. I've said this before, I'll say it again, how things look for Oregon State and Washington State. I think they have the right mindset, and I think it's going to work out for them as best as possible. Like I said, that's more than likely going to be the merger with Mountain West. And it's going to be interesting to see, like I said, what the next domino to fall in this wonderful world of college football realignment that we have to get accustomed to now. But nonetheless, it's a new day for the Pac-12 officially. Let's see what Oregon State and Washington are going to do. And unfortunately, on the other side of this coin for George Kliavkoff, you know, his legacy is going to be the man that saw the Pac-12 crumble on his watch. Like I said, the wheels were set in motion under Larry Scott. George Kliavkoff did not do himself any favors. He is always, unfortunately for his sake, going to be the guy that helped to destroy the Conference of Champions. So, folks, that's going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank all of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365, and you can check it out. Drop a line if you're part of one of the best sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I am signing off. I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.